Hey guys, what's up? It's Brittany Connor here, otherwise known as the Movie Guru. What a lot of people don't know about me, well, do know about me, don't know about me, it depends on if you know me or not. I love horror films. Okay, horror films are my passion. It's what I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to make horror films. I want to make people jump out of their seats, like the classics. Today I'm here to talk to you about a sequel to a, I like to call it a futuristic classic horror film, Paranormal Activity. Now, when I say futuristically classic, what I mean is in the future, like 50 years from now, they'll consider Paranormal Activity what we today consider Psycho to be. It's genuine horror. It scares us, or at least it does me. Some people will roll their eyes and say, Paranormal Activity was so stupid. It was like 40 minutes of doing nothing, 30 minutes of people saying what the hell happened, and then 12 seconds of people jumping. It's so stupid. I don't think so. With me, I don't scare easily, but Paranormal Activity, the first one, I'm just talking about the first one here, it was a very plain and simple storyline that really freaked me out. It's a guy and a girl living together, and the girl has some freaky ghost basically trying to scare the shit out of them. And it scared the shit out of me too. Now, I just got done watching Paranormal Activity 3. So this somewhat is a review slash rant slash, what's the word I can call it? Synopsis, I think you would want to call it. I'm basically just going to talk about the movie because I just got done watching it a little bit ago. Paranormal Activity 3. Alright, when I first saw Paranormal Activity 1, like I said earlier, it's a very plain, simple storyline. You know, you have a guy and a girl living together. Ghost scares the crap out of them both. Plain and simple, right? With Paranormal Activity 2, I was interested in that movie because, well, what the hell is going to happen? I mean, she eats her boyfriend. And, I mean, what's going on? Paranormal Activity 2, what they tried to do was they tried to basically create a storyline out of something very plain, very bland. So they really had a lot to work with. You didn't really know much about Mika and Katie other than they were dating. And a ghost was attacking Katie. That's all you knew. So they could really work something out with that. What they did with Paranormal Activity 2 was basically they introduced Christy and her family. Christy is Katie's sister. They made that connection with Paranormal Activity 1. And you find out for some reason, now it's been a while since I've seen Paranormal Activity 2, so forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure what happens in Paranormal Activity 2 is basically you have the two sisters, and it combines the fact that Katie had the ghost, now Christy has the ghost, or wait, hang on. It goes in so many different orders, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like the movie's working backwards. I mean, you have Paranormal Activity 1, then you have Paranormal Activity 2 happening a couple weeks before Paranormal Activity 1 happens, or just like right around the same time. And then Paranormal Activity 3, which happens 18 years prior, if I'm not mistaken, to the events of Paranormal Activities 1 and 2. So I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. What the writers did was they introduced Christy and her family, saying that, give me a second, make sure I get this right. I gotta think of a way to word this. I didn't really think before I turned on the camera. But the firstborn son of these two girls that the ghost is haunting, both Christy and Katie, is like an offering to the demon. I don't know if that's right. All I know is that Katie came at the end of Paranormal Activity 2, killed the dad, Christy, and kidnapped baby Hunter. That's all I know. Or I remember. Because I've only seen it once, and that was like a year ago. Because I saw it when it came to theaters last year. But, okay, Paranormal Activity 3. What the video is about. It's kind of funny I started this video. Anyways, 5 minutes into the video, I'm finally starting to talk about what the video is about. Just saw Paranormal Activity 3. Movie freaked me out, but not in the way I wanted it to. It wasn't as scary as I wanted. I was expecting more along the lines of Paranormal Activity 1. But, I mean, it's you have to admit, this is a horror sequel. Lots of horror sequels don't really live up to their superiors. I mean, lots of sequels don't live up to their superiors. The only sequel I can think of right now in the horror genre that really lived up to its predecessor was Scream 4. And that was either almost as good as or as good as Scream 1. But I digress. So in Paranormal Activity 3, this movie takes place 18 years prior to the events of Paranormal Activities 1 and 2, as I said earlier. And basically what happens is it shows young Christy and young Katie being attacked, and not really attacked in this sort of way, not at the beginning, but making friendly with this ghost who they call Toby. I don't know why they call him Toby, but they do. So they're living with their mom, Julie, and their mom's boyfriend, Dennis. And basically what happens is one day Dennis, who is a wedding video recorder type person, I don't really know what you would consider him to be, but he and Julie decide, hey, let's make a sex tape. And in the middle of the sex tape, you don't see anything, by the way. There's no nudity, which I liked. I was sitting there going, oh my god, please don't tell me they're going to show nudity, because I really hate nudity in horror movies. It's so pointless. And yes, I understand that's the point of horror movies, but sometimes it just gets annoying. You know, at least that's my opinion. So Julie and her boyfriend Dennis, that's the girl's mom, Julie, they decide to make a sex tape, but then an earthquake interrupts. Poor Dennis. So an earthquake interrupts, and dust from the ceiling gets knocked, the ceiling moves around, of course, earthquake, and dust from the ceiling knocks down, or comes down, and you see like a figure. Very, very lightly. I could barely see it, but hey, that's the entire point of Paranormal Activity movies, or just Paranormal Activity in general. Anything paranormal, you don't really see it, but somebody else does, kind of. If you totally see it, then it's completely fake. And yes, no, I'm not one of those people who think Paranormal Activity is real, like the movie. I'm getting off subject. Bad Brittany. So, Dennis goes on this rampage with him and his friend Randy, I think his name is, Randy. And he shows Randy the tape, and Randy's like, dude, you gotta put cameras up everywhere. I totally see something going on. So, of course, they put cameras up everywhere. And there's really this one effect they do with the film that I really like. Since back in the 80s, you didn't really have a camera with a wide lens. What they did was, on one of those old oscillating fans, he takes apart the oscillating fan, the fan part of it. I don't know why I kept, I'm sorry, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. But he takes apart the fan, and he puts the camera right on top of it, so the camera slowly pans back and forth. And I really like that aspect. That really creeped me out at times, because I'm sitting here going, is something going to happen? And then you turn around, somebody's there. Fan goes this way, fan comes back this way, no one's there anymore, and it's kind of freaky. Especially because they're little girls. I hate little girls in horror movies, and that dates all the way back to The Bad Seed. Little girls, pigtails, I hate them. I really hate them. It scared the crap out of me. But the movie really freaked me out, because I'm sitting here, well, it didn't really freak me out in a scary sense. It freaked me out in an I'm now pissed off sense. Because it basically says, let's see, Dennis finds some type of a symbol in Katie and Christie's closet. And it's some type, I think it looks like the symbol of the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter. That's what I think, except for it doesn't have the wand in the middle. It doesn't have the Elder Wand in the middle. It's just the cape and the stone. So I thought that was kind of weird. But what happens is, apparently, I want to make sure I have this right. It's, he finds the symbol in this book. And it's about, I think I looked this up, it's about mysticism. I can't pronounce the word. I'm really bad with words. But he explains to Julie that the symbol belonged to a witch's coven that brainwashed girls who were able to get pregnant into having sons and then forgetting about it. But Julie's like, no, it's stupid. You need to take the thing down. By the way, I hate those girls in horror movies. If you see some shit going on in your house, get the fuck out. And don't go to your mom's house because that's what basically killed Julie. I'm going to get to that later. So what happens is they go to Lois's house, who's Julie's mom. And I thought this was kind of interesting. I almost forgot this. But Lois tells Julie in some private conversation when they're talking about having kids. And Julie's like, no, I don't want to have any more kids. I have 2 beautiful girls. And then her mom said, well, you always wanted a son. And she says, no, I'm not having any more kids. When they get to Lois's house, a little bit afterwards, that night, the first night, I think, when they're at Lois's house, Julie dies. And I'm guessing it has something to do with the coven, because right before you see Julie's dead body, you see Dennis, her boyfriend, walking around the house with the camera going, oh, what's happening? What's happening? I don't know what's going on. This is creepy. And what he does, this is really weird, he walks out into the barn or garage, I think, and he sees Lois and a whole bunch of girls. Sorry, that's my computer. It's stupid. He sees Lois and a whole bunch of other women. They're dressed in robes, and they look like cult worshippers or something like that. They look like they're a cult. So he walks around the house going, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? You know, delaying the movie for about 5 more minutes of shaky camera handling, which is basically what Paranormal Activity is. Although, I'm not saying it's bad. It's pretty interesting. So he sees Julie's dead body, and she's like levitating at the top of the stairs. And her body's basically like thrown at him and knocks him all the way down the stairs. Then he gets up, he sees Christy, and goes into a closet with her, basically tells her to shut up. You see her noises outside. When he finally leaves the closet with Christy, he sees Katie crying over Julie's body. So, you know, like the dutiful father figure he is, he walks over to Katie, consoles her. Katie, are you okay? Finally, he touches her hand on his hand on her shoulder. Boom! She turns around, and she has this demonic look on her face. Okay, I'm not saying I think she's possessed, because of course she was possessed, and I'm going to get a lot of negative comments about that. So, she was possessed, basically. And he's thrown backwards, literally. I'm guessing he hurts his leg, because he's crawling, trying to get to her. And so, you see Lois comes into the room and stops right in front of him. She looks at him, and then suddenly his body is just bent. Like, all right, let's say this is his body. It's bent like this, backwards. So you know his back breaks. He dies. So Katie goes to her grandma, and so does Christy. Christy calls to Toby and says, come on, Toby, or something like that. It's really creepy. And they have their grandma in this robe and whatnot, looking like a witch. So mainly I'm thinking, what the fuck is going to happen next? Because you know there's going to be a Paranormal Activity 4. I mean, with an ending like that, there has to be a Paranormal Activity 4. I mean, seriously. It's so weird, and it's not scary in that sort of sense anymore. It's a, how do I put this? It's awfully fascinating, but it's fascinating in like an awful way. I don't know if I can really put it a different way than that. But, that's basically my rant about Paranormal Activity 3. So, please leave a comment. I really don't care. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say? Bottom line, Paranormal Activity 3 was just weird. It wasn't scary at all. There was a couple of times where you jump a little bit. But by far, it's the worst of the Paranormal Activity movies. So, if you're not already interested in the storyline, don't go see it. I really don't think you should see it. It's not good. Wait for DVD. That's all I have to say. Wait for DVD or find it on the internet. Let's see. Yeah, I basically saw it because, well, I have no free time. Well, I have plenty of free time on my hands, and I didn't feel like studying. So, yeah, that's my little rant about Paranormal Activity 3. And I hope to make more of these videos. I'm hoping to get in, like, a little can't think of what it is. Making videos about movies, mainly, because that's my passion. I love movies. So yeah. Thanks for watching this, what is it, 15 minutes, holy shit, 15-minute rant of mine. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.